Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this platform. This is The Junction. This is the junction where your desires are made into reality. My name is Toyin. My mission is to help you identify and achieve your purpose through transformation. On this platform, we explore biblical principles so that we can empower ourselves to step into the greatness that God has designed for us. Today, we're going to be building up on top of what we started last week. Last week, we talked about 3 ways to identify your purpose. If you haven't listened to that message, I'm going to link it in the description below. Please take 10 minutes out and listen to that message. We're not going to be able to get into it. We talk about 3 ways to identify your purpose, and transformation being one of the ways. So let's talk about transformation today. We're not going to be able to get into the deeper level of transformation, but we'll talk about what is transformation and specifically how does it apply to identifying your purpose. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So, what is transformation? I think everybody, if not everybody, a lot of people know what we mean by transformation. Transformation is simply to change from one state to another state, right? And when I think about transformation, one thing that always pops into my mind, I don't know if it's an obsession, if it's just some kind of fixation, I'm not sure, but it takes me right back to when I was in school and I learned about the metamorphosis of a butterfly. A butterfly, or you can call it the life cycle of a butterfly. A butterfly has 4 stages, right? The egg, the larva, the pupa, and the adult stage. Now, for each level, there is a different purpose, right? The egg serves a purpose, the larva another purpose, but each level is a step up, is a higher stage in life, and there is a higher or deeper level of skills or abilities that is needed. The same thing in our everyday life, right? In order for you to move to another higher level, right, you have to build up on your competence, your skills, or your ability. If you don't have the competence or the ability to move to the higher level, you won't be able to. Hence, the need for transformation. The sole purpose or the whole purpose of going to school is to educate our mind so that we transform from illiterate to literate, so that we have the skill set to be able to be productive in the society. That's what transformation is. Transformation is to build you up, to equip you so that you're ready for the next stage. And when you get to the next stage, you're ready for the next, right? That's all transformation is. Moving from one state, and we're going to be positive, moving from one state to a higher stage. And in order for you to do that, you need transformation. When you were in elementary school, when you were in elementary school, the geometry that you learn was to equip you so that you can build up on top of that, right? When you get to your high school, if you did not demonstrate that you are capable of understanding what it means, you won't be promoted. That's why students repeat classes, because they have not yet been transformed into what it requires or what it takes to survive or to thrive on the next level. So transformation is very, very important. And specifically, when we talk about purpose, why, as transformation as a method or a means to identify your purpose, it simply means as you begin to transform yourself. And we're going to talk about how transformation is derived. As you begin to transform yourself, right, you begin to identify the dots. The dots has already been there. Remember when we talk about purpose, we talk about Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5. Before I formed you in the womb, I already called you to be a prophet. He already has a purpose for you. This is what you're going to be doing even before you were born. So the dots were already there. The difference is you couldn't identify those dots because you lack transformation. In fact, in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 3:8, it says, "And we all with unveiled faces contemplate the Lord's glory, are being transformed into his image with ever increasing glory." So it takes revelation. It takes revelation for you to begin to see. And that's what transformation is. Transformation is the acquisition of knowledge and the application of it. So if you acquire knowledge, right, and you don't apply it, you will never be transformed. And so I have a book that is coming out about introspective transformation. And in that book, I talk about how we go to seminars, we attend churches, we listen to podcasts, but yet our lives remain the same. We're stuck. And the reason is not for lack of knowledge. In fact, in the book of Hosea 4 verse 6, verses said, they have rejected knowledge. So it's not that the knowledge wasn't there. They rejected it, hence they lack it. So it is the acquisition of knowledge and the application of that knowledge that brings transformation. So when we talk about, going back to talking about purpose, how do you identify your purpose? Through transformation. As you begin to acquire the knowledge, right? You're studying the Bible. You're buying books. You're exposing yourself to knowledge. You're getting the experiences that you need. As you begin to transform yourself and you're maturing, that's all transformation does. Transformation is a means to an end. It's not the end itself, right? We're not just transforming for transforming sake. We're transforming so that we continue to mature, so that we're maturing. Goes back to the illustration about the elementary school. You're going to school, you're transforming so that you can go to high school and you build on top of that, right, in life. So the same thing, as you begin to acquire the knowledge that is necessary, and as you begin to apply them, then you begin to mature. So the acquisition and the application of knowledge brings about maturity. That's transformation. Then you begin to identify the dots, and the dots has already been there. You begin to say, oh, I like doing this. I always love to educate people. I love to talk a lot. And when I'm talking, I love to analyze things. I love to build people up. Oh, this is what I like. I like to be around people. But I don't know if I really like this kind of setting. This is not for me, even though I like to talk. I don't want to be a lawyer. I'd rather be an educator. I don't want to be an educator. I'd rather be a journalist. You begin to see the dot. And as you see the dot, it's like those workbook, the coloring books that the kids have in elementary school, in kindergarten. You know, they have some sections where they're just dots, and when you connect the dot, at first it may not mean anything, but when you see all the dots and you connect the dot the right way, then it becomes a pattern, and you can see from the pattern that you already know from the pattern, oh, this is a fish, oh, this is a person. It's the same thing with identifying your purpose through transformation. As you begin to mature, you begin to see the dots. And now you can start connecting the dot. And as you're doing so, you begin to see a pattern that is forming. And eventually, all of that forms that thing that you can now say, oh, I get it. This is God's plan for my life. This is, as you begin to see the dots, you probably already start, like I said, it's forming a pattern. You probably already start to know this is God's purpose for my life. This is what God wants me to do. These are my skills. These are my ability. This is my passion. This is what God is placing in my heart in my spirit. And this is what my purpose is. So that is how you identify, when we talk about transformation as a means of identifying your purpose, that is how that plays out. Next week, we're going to talk about, so today we talk about what is transformation. Next week, we're going to talk about why transformation and the attribute of transformation. Transformation has an attribute. Transformation is a system. But I want you to tell me, what is it that you're working on in your life that you want to transform into? Like, I'm trying to lose weight, for example. There has to be some transformation there. Transformation in the sense of my lifestyle, my diet. Am I paying attention to my diet? Am I exercising, right? Or am I being active, right? So there has to be a transformation in the way in my attitude towards my diet and my fitness. And also, it could be your career. What transformation do you need there? What are the things that you're doing today that are sabotaging your progress? That is a hindrance to where you're supposed to be or where you have envisioned to be in life. What about a spiritual life? What transformation do you need? What habit or character are you exhibiting right now that is a hindrance to what God wants to do in your life, right? Or what God has been telling you to do, but you're not been able to do it. What transformation do you need there? I want you to share with us, what steps are you taking in order to transform yourself into what God has called you to be. You know, we need to transform in order to remove those blockers. We're going to get more into transformation next week. We're going to be talking about some of the blockers that we have. A lot of those blockers are really a result of our actions, of our inability to transform from one stage to another, right? Like I said, a person in elementary school, if you're not able to demonstrate that you understand what it takes to survive in high school, you're probably going to have to repeat that level until you're able to. It's the same thing. Now you're stuck in that level until you're able to pass that level, to overcome that difficulties or remove that obstruction in your way. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. I want you guys to have a lovely week. Till we meet next week, God bless you. Remember to subscribe and share this video with everybody. Like it, share it, subscribe. Till we meet again, stay blessed. Bye.